Welcome everybody to Indivisible Texas Lege Live. We are excited to be with you to talk about some more events that are happening this week. We have Austin starting today, but with us right now are some amazing leaders from the SATX Indivisible group. And we're going to be talking about the events that they have starting tomorrow as well as Saturday. So welcome everybody. We have Jane and Jan from SATX Indivisible. How are y'all doing?
Great.
Doing good. Thank you.
Thanks for doing this, Alex.
Absolutely. And I am so grateful to have an amazing co-host and partner with these broadcasts, the awesome Jasmine Tolhurst. Jasmine, how are you doing?
Hey, doing awesome. Glad to be here and happy to have you ladies here with us. So you are in San Antonio. Tell me how you got involved with Indivisible.
Me? I'll start with me.
Yes,
okay, we
Jan.
can start with me.
Yes,
I recently moved from New Mexico, and after 2016, when we all went into some bizarre stupor about who had been elected, we all came alive, and that's when Indivisible came alive, because as soon as the election was over, they were writing that Indivisible guide. So that group, I started a group with friends in New Mexico, and did that for a few years before I moved here. So there was the national, the NCN gathering network in August of 2019. And I went to that wonderful event, and I met a lot of people from San Antonio. We went out, we had beers, we ate, restaurants and stuff. So I knew a lot of those people before I came. And then they were having some issues with leaderships. Ceres was running it, but she has a very, very demanding job, and she needed help. So I just said, well, okay, I'll help. So we're running the group together. So that's how I got involved in that. Jan, you want to say something?
Well, sure. I'm recently retired, and end of January, matter of fact. And I've been doing a lot of social justice work with my church, and was looking for a way to reach outside that network. And especially, I was so concerned with the future of our democracy, with the not just voting rights, but also election subversion and everything. And I just really wanted to get active with that. I live in San Antonio, but I'm outside of the areas where other indivisible groups are as active as I'd like to be. And so I got referred to Jane Warsaw at SATX, and the rest is history. For the last few weeks, I've been helping, and just want to do everything that I can. My past is, I came from farther away, but much longer ago. So I came from California in the old days. So we can talk about that another time.
Sounds good. So it sounds like whether you have a job or you're retired, you are more than welcome to come and get involved in these indivisible activities, especially in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Jane had said about the concern of overturning elections. I don't know that everyone knows, but one of the things that they had one of the provisions that they had stuck into the voting bill was to make it easier for state leaders to overturn elections, which is pretty concerning.
It's a real problem, and a lot of people don't even know about it. Voter suppression is bad, obviously, and people understand that. But to have these not even talked about measures that you sneak into a bill, into SB 7, behind closed doors in the dark of night, this is not right. It shouldn't be up to a partisan legislature, state legislature, to overturn the will of the people like that. That's what we call election subversion.
Absolutely. So Indivisible is actually a partisan or a nonpartisan group? Do I have to be like a Democrat or do I have to be a Republican to get involved?
No, it's a nonpartisan group. So, but that doesn't take away the need to say just facts about, like, the Democrats, or the House Democrats were the ones who walked out to block the bill, and the Republicans were the ones that were supporting the bill. So that's just facts. That doesn't mean that we're, it's an issue-based phenomenon. It's an issue-based group. It's not about whose party you are. It's about what you're for and what you're against.
Yeah, and Indivisible has a lot of regulations kind of things, you know, policies about maintaining that bipartisan or nonpartisan. So we have a lot of restrictions on how we can participate with campaigns and so on. In order to do that. Now, look, you know, let's line up 1,000 Republicans and ask them, okay, who's progressive? You know, you're not going to get any raised hands. And Indivisible is pushing progressive change and you know, to our nation, you know, through legislation, because that's their bag. You know, they always work through government entities in order to make the difference, and we've been very successful at it. In my opinion, I'm very happy to be part of it.
Well, it's good to know.
I always love to say we're nonpartisan in who we will criticize. If somebody is getting in the way, then we're going to tell them Republican or Democrat. And when we talk about don't mess with Texas voters, and when we talk about voter suppression, election subversion, voting rights, it just so happens in today's day, it is the Republican Party leading towards all the negative things around voting. And they're the ones who are unwilling to support voting right expansion within our country. And so this is why we want to make sure our message is loud and clear throughout our enormous state of Texas. Don't mess with Texas voters. And also to tell elected officials and all of our fellow Texans that Texas deserves better. We have a whole host of issues and problems we want to solve within our communities, but we'll never be able to get to that point if we don't have a healthy and vibrant democracy. So let's talk a little bit about the events y'all have coming up. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to share my screen so people can see this event page. Okay. Talk to us about it.
Okay. Well, historically, Indivisible, SATX Indivisible has done a lot of different kinds of things. I've got a long list here that I could share with you, but we don't have time for that. These two events are different. The topic and the reason why we are doing both of these events this weekend is the same, because we are fighting against the we want to defeat SB 7 and we want to pass S1, HR 1, and HR 4. So both of the events, the first one is on Friday at 11 a.m. and that's at Cornyn's office. We're going to meet maybe a half an hour before, and we have I would say we have probably about 40 people who have responded either through Facebook or through the Indivisible calendar, the Indivisible network. So we're happy about the response for Friday. And they're just gonna hang out outside. Then we're gonna go upstairs and say something if there's people in the office. Last time, I don't know if there's gonna be anybody there or not. And then we'll go down on the street again and do our thing. So that's Friday. Saturday is a little more, you know, I don't know what would be the word, fancy, I guess. We're doing a banner walk, a banner drop on this nice little plaza. If you look at this picture, you can see the Lila Cockrell Theater in the back on the right-hand side. That's part of the convention center. And on the left-hand side of the back is the the Hyatt, the Grand Hyatt. So there's a little public space in there, and we'll be against that back wall, and we'll have banners. We have beautiful banners that were made for us for all the events this summer. And we'll be draping one on the inside of that wall and one on the outside of that far wall, so people from the street can see what we're doing. And Jan, why don't you talk a little bit about who's going to be at our event on Saturday?
Well, in addition to our Indivisibles and friends, we have invited some elected leaders, and we have 2 state reps who are planning to come. Ray Lopez from San Antonio. He's one of our newer state reps, and Diego Bernal, who now has been there for, I think, 3 sessions. And this is actually Diego Bernal's district. So it's especially important that he be invited here. We also may have others who are interested, but have to get back to San Antonio a little bit early to attend. So we're hoping to have others as well. We know that Lloyd Doggett, congressman from Austin and San Antonio, will not be able to attend, but he's sending one of his staff members, and he's sending a resounding message of support for the issue that we're bringing up. And telling us how history is watching right now, what's happening in Texas and what's happening in DC. So we have a lot of friends on the ground and a lot of friends in the legislature in Austin as well as in DC.
There's something else I wanted to mention. This is the July 4th weekend. It is Fiestas, and we're expecting that there'll a lot of people, even though it's 10 o'clock, that's a little early in the morning, but we're expecting that there will be passersby that at this time of year, and you know what? That's actually more of the focus that we're trying to develop on. How are we spreading the word? Because we're preaching to the choir when we talk to activists, right? We all know what's important, but it's the people, the people who are not immersed in activism that are not really, a lot of them are not aware of what all this crazy stuff that's going on. So we want to engage with the public, so we're hoping that we'll have that opportunity at this rally.
And even though it's early, it'll probably be warm enough. It might be a little bit wet if it rains, but there's a lot of folks who may be visiting San Antonio from other places. We're now looking forward to having some tourists on the Riverwalk and on Market Street. So hopefully we'll have a chance to talk with them as well.
So we're going to have bottled water. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get it down there, but yes, we're going to have bottled water, and I did buy some ponchos, a pack of ponchos in case it rains. Not everybody will be protected, but I've got a bunch of them. So that's I can't think of anything else to say about this one. We're excited about this one.
And the banner, can you tell us what that's like, Jane? I haven't been to a banner drop before. So
what a banner drop is? What? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
I've been to a banner drop before. So
well, it's just as I described. Usually you do it over the a bridge over a highway. Anything where you can suspend a 15-foot, piece of cloth or whatever. And we in October of 2020, SATX Indivisible and Progress Texas did an anti-Cornyn banner drop. They asked us to do it with them. So we did it on a bridge that actually is very close to where we're doing this one. But it is the other one that we did was on actually over the water, and that was fun with 2 people because it was the pandemic, But we had fun. So
how can people find you?
How can they find us on Saturday, or how can they find us in general?
To get involved.
Okay. Well, it's a very well guarded secret, unfortunately. No, let's see. Um, well, we have an email address, satxindivisible@gmail.com, where people have written to us to say we've heard about you and stuff. We also we have two pages. We have a public page on Facebook, and we have a closed group page on Facebook. And you can go to the public page. We keep that pretty active and see what we're doing. You can send a message to us on that, and also you can, if you want to join the private group, there's a way of asking to be a member of that.
That's right. And the way I found easiest to find it on Facebook is to search Facebook for SATX and then a space and then Indivisible. And then it'll bring up the SATX Indivisible site. You check that out and you can learn a lot about us.
Well, awesome. We thank you so much for being here today. Alexander, you have any other comments?
Well, I know, Jane, you're excited that 40 people have signed up for tomorrow's event, but I really want to see if we can get 400 people.
Oh, okay.
So if you're listening out there and you're watching this and you're in San Antonio, check out these events, stop by, and let's make sure that we have a resounding voice across our state that we do not want to mess with Texas voters. We don't want voter suppression. We don't want election, subversion, and we want to make sure that Congress does the job they need to do to pass voting rights, to help make sure that elections are going to be healthy, democracy is going to be healthy, and people are going to be able to participate in every election that is available. In Texas, we have a reputation of being a red state, which is actually an incorrect reputation. We're a non-voting state, and so we have millions of Texans that haven't participated, and we want to do that work. We want to do the work of getting more Texans engaged and involved, not restricting the vote of Texans.
Absolutely. Democracy requires voting access.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we definitely want to encourage people, join SATX Indivisible, be a part of the work that's being done in San Antonio. So many amazing organizations and partners work together in San Antonio. And so SATX Indivisible, you are doing amazing work. And we really hope that more people are able to join you guys tomorrow and Saturday, and that they'll be able to be a part of the organizing efforts, because this is just the beginning. We want to have strong organizing and engagement all the way to November of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no vacations for us.
Right.
No,
Well, thanks,
special
everybody.
session starts on July 8th. Got work to do.
Right.
Yes.
I think the other point I'd really like to bring up, Alex and Jasmine, if I could, is that nobody's coming to save us. We have to do the work as constituents, as the people of Texas, of San Antonio, of the US, because we have to pressure, even if our leaders agree with us, they may not be in a position or thinking about doing what we need them to do unless we make it clear what we want, what we require, what we demand, and why it's so important to us. And that's why we're out there, to help people know why we're concerned so they can speak up too. And the more people who are out there speaking up, the more likely it is that that the priorities that we have will get paid attention to.
Well spoken.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I ended with a preposition, but other than that,
We'll allow it.
Yeah, and thanks, Alex, for everything you do too, and you, Jasmine. I mean, you've been this has been a crazy, amazing Texas legislature year, and you guys have been working very, very hard with all of the groups that you put together to take a look at 7,000 bills and figure out which ones are good and which ones are bad.
You know,
That's like being in a room full of straw and trying to spin it into gold, you know?
we can't say enough about the organizers that join Indivisible Text Ledge. And it's just an example of what we need. We need people participating and engaged. And it's in every corner of the state, like San Antonio, that we need people engaged and working. And so excited for y'all's events, excited to see all the pictures, and hopefully we'll be able to live stream some of that as well, so that people can see that at home and just continue to be encouraged that we need every Texan in this. We need everyone to participate, so that we have that clear message of don't mess with Texas voters, and that Texas deserves better. We need better leadership, better elected officials, because
Better
they are
grid.
not solving the problems.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great to talk to y'all. Good luck tomorrow and
Thanks.
Saturday.
Safe
Really
travels.
excited for y'all's events.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.